Okay everyone, I want to share with you about how I'm making end caps. Very recently I've just started doing some extra work and I think I've figured out a pretty good way of doing it. So follow this. What you need obviously is a lathe. What helps is a 4-jaw chuck and a dial indicator, but we'll come to that. Okay, how do we do it? This is the tube that I'm using. The internal diameter is 3.738 inches. I'm measuring in inches because my old lathe is an imperial. Now, this inside measurement is the really critical thing that you need to know. And that's what I'm going to focus on in a minute, because that's how to get this right or to get it wrong. Then I got a nice big piece of plastic. I cut up the plastic using a jigsaw. Once I'd done that, mounted it into the 4-jaw chuck. Now the first thing that I did was then to put a center drill into the very center of it, scribe a line, and then put it into the 4-jaw chuck. And what I'm trying to do in the 4-jaw chuck is take this big bit of plastic and just turn it down on either side, so that on the leading edge, so that in fact it lines up with this part here. A nice fit. Then once that's happened, before I take it out of the chuck, and this is the interesting bit too, I drill a hole right through the middle. Now you think that's a bit stupid, it's an end cap, but the simple fact is that's easy to fix with a bit of epoxy, and you'll find you've got uses for those drills through the middle. So then we reverse it in the chuck. I can center it using the, so it's a bit like this. I can center it using the hole, as you can see here. It's a tedious process, but it's worth just going through this and getting it exactly right. And you can do it with a 4-jaw chuck very well, obviously, and clearly with a dial indicator. And this little bit of brass that fits between the drill post, what do you call it? I forget now. I should know about lathes. And the work enables you to get this centered. So here it is. What I'm going to do now is cut this down to this width here, but I'm not going to be so quick about that. So it sort of looks like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down probably to about 3.745, so that it's an interference fit. It's not going to go in. And then I'm going to nibble it back. You see, the problem with this tube is it's different widths. And it's difficult to get that measurement exactly right. So what I'm going to do is take my time and nibble this until I've got a nice sliding fit, like you can see here. Now when you've got the sliding fit and you know it's neat and it's about as close to perfect as it can be, then you can put the grooves in for your O-ring. Now my O-ring, I have to get out of the way a bit here, is 202 thousandths of an inch thick. Now I want around about 10% compression, so I want it to look like this when it's in operation, and I want this width to be, probably guess, 180. So the width, however, of the groove is generally 10% plus, so I want that to be 220. So here is the groove, like this. It's going to be 180 deep, 220 across. That's all very well and good. The next thing to do is to shave a little bit off here to drop it back, probably about 4 thou each side, making it about 8 thou clearance. And once you've done that, it's a nice easy fit, and it works pretty well. Now, as I said before, the two risks that you've got with this is that you cut it too deep. And if you do, fractionally, wow, that is you can use something like some butyl tape at the bottom, this self-joining butyl tape. That works a treat. If it's too deep, well, if it's too much for that, you really need to make it again. If it's too shallow, you need to set it up in the lathe again as perfectly as you can and just shave a little bit off. That's it. beautiful.